What's going on, everybody? I'm Mike Berlin. You're watching Wild Fed Family, and today I'm going to show you how I caught these catfish out of this little creek right behind my house. So yesterday afternoon I came out here and I set some bank poles. Now these bank poles consist of a pretty simple setup. Now right here is just a fiberglass rod. It's actually a driveway marker, and I got them for about $1 a piece off of Amazon. Next, if I'll just unspool this a little bit, I'll show you the rest of it. Now this is all 50-pound braid that is tied to a little piece of tie wire at the end. I drilled a hole through it, put the tie wire through it, tied the line directly to it. Right there is a 1-ounce egg sinker. Right there is a saltwater swivel. And from there I go to 40-pound fluorocarbon all the way to a circle hook. Now I baited all these up with about 1 ounce of liver, which is, you know, a solid sized chunk because it is a big hook and I do have big fish. And all I'm doing is simply shoving these in the sand and on the bank. And I'm going to show you a couple different ideal scenarios of where I set these and where I caught these fish. So stay tuned, because this is an awesome way for you to catch a lot of big fish in a small body of water. So I figured I wasn't going to waste your time with explaining to you why I'm setting each set, where I'm doing it, but what I am going to do is show you where the successful sets were set. So right now I'm standing in about 8 inches of water, but I have this log that is outcropped right here, and what I did was I set that pole over the top of it, and right now moving down I'm in probably 16 inches of water. Now all of this depends on the time of year. Right now it is the first week of May, and the catfish are swimming from a lake probably about 10 miles down the road, coming up here. They're spawning, they're laying their eggs, and once they hatch, they're all coming down back to the lake. So all these big mature catfish and all the dudes following them are coming up this creek. So all I'm doing is targeting these channels with these swirling eddies right behind it, and that's where you're going to catch your fish. The next set that I caught an ice fish on was right here. So I had the bank pole at the very end of the sandbar, and as you can see, the current is coming right there, and around this outside corner I got a deep pool that is over there at a sharp cut deep bank. Now the fish are going to come up here, they're going to see that, and a lot of the bait is going to get caught up in there, and all they're doing is coming into that little swirl right there and feeding and moving on up creek. But that's where I set them. That was the reasoning behind why I set them where I did. Now let me show you some fish coming out of the water. Pulling them right to you, okay? There you go, there's a catfish. That's a catfish right there. That's a good fish. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? Alright. Take him to the deep fry. More. That right there is not a bad day of fishing. I probably got 2, 3 to 4 pound catfish. They're gonna make some nice fillets, and a fish fry is coming right up. So I'm getting ready to clean these fish, and I figured I'd show you something cool. Right there is a crawfish that I pulled out of this catfish, and that is also something that I'll be targeting in the next video. So a lot of times catfish get a bad rap for being muddy and just not really good tasting, but the thing is, if your catfish is over about 2 pounds, what you want to do is go ahead and just get the fillets out and trim them up nice and clean, because you do not want to whole fry a catfish this big. A lot of the times they hold a bad flavor and they're fat, and yeah, we're gonna trim all of that away and make for a really great fish fry. So a lot of the times people are discouraged by catfish, and I want to show you the difference between two different fillets. Now this is one that I cut straight off of that fish, and look, right there, that whole yellow strip right there is catfish fat. That right there is the inside of the innards, and that is the rib cage. So what I did to this fillet off of the same fish was cut away the rib cage, and all of this yellow fat I trimmed away. On the back side, I took off the skin. So skin on one side, fat on the top, ribs, and also you will have pin bones right in here that you want to trim out. But this right here is a finished fillet, white, clean seafood, straight from the backyard. So let me show you this. From these two fish, I got 4 fillets, and don't forget, on a fish this big, you also get a good chunk, well, 2 good chunks of belly meat out of each fish. Secondly, this is the spawn and the fins. Now, if you have never battered that and fried it to the point where the tail is crispy and crunchy and flavorful like a potato chip, while you can peel that meat off the spawn, then you're missing out big time. But I'm saving those, and you can do what you want, but just a suggestion. So right now, a gallon Ziploc bag of catfish fillets, bellies, and spawns is gonna have to do, but right now I still have dinner cooking inside, and we're gonna have to save this for another night, but I will see you then. What's going on? So look, it's about 3 months later, and it is a rainy Saturday afternoon, and I figured it'd be a great day to make some fish tacos. So I just pulled the fish out of the freezer, got it thawed up, and this is super simple. Now all I did was I took those catfish fillets and I cut them into strips that are probably about 3/4 of an inch long by 4 inches long. From there, I'm gonna add just a little bit of sour cream and half and half, mix them up with some seasoning. I'm gonna do salt, pepper, some chili powder, and a little bit of garlic powder. But from there, it's just going in a little bit of flour, frying it up in peanut oil. While the fish is frying, I'm gonna go ahead and toast up some tortillas, but after the fish goes on, I'm topping it off with a homemade coleslaw. And that coleslaw is fresh cabbages from the garden that are shredded up. And from there, I added a little bit of homemade mayo. And that mayo, look, whatever you're buying from the store, I mean, it may taste good, but you're pretty much eating the equivalent of motor oil. So go ahead and learn how to make your homemade mayo. It's super simple, just a couple ingredients. But I'm gonna add a little bit of seasonings from there, you know, salt, pepper, vinegar, and some chili powder, Mexican spices, whatever you really feel like. But top that off on the taco with some avocados, and because I have some kids, I'm gonna go ahead and put my jalapenos on the side. Serve it up with some lime, and you got some fish tacos. Well, that's it right there. Catfish tacos, fresh from the creek, right behind the house. But I got about 6 more of these to make and eat, as well as make a bunch for the family. And we're gonna sit down and chow down because I'm really excited about this meal. So that's all I got for today. And you'd be surprised where you can catch fish. I mean, they're all over the place. If you got a small creek, pond, whatever it may be, go ahead and throw a hook in it, because I guarantee you there's gonna be something hanging out ready for you to eat. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.